What if the addiction you think you're fighting isn't the real enemy? What if it's just a symptom of something deeper? A sign that you're not broken, but just lost. For a long time, we've been told a story about addiction, that it's a moral failing, a lack of willpower, or even a chronic brain disease you're just cursed to manage forever. So we fight it, we resist it. We count the days of sobriety like a prisoner marking time on a cell wall. But what if that entire frame is wrong? What if the harder we fight, the more lost you become? And what if the real path to healing isn't a fight at all, but a search? A search for the one thing the addiction may have been trying to find all along: a sense of purpose. Let's talk about that feeling. It's not just about a substance or a specific behavior. It's the hollowness in your chest on a Sunday afternoon. It's the endless scrolling through other people's perfect looking lives, looking for a spark you can't find in your own. It's the compulsive shopping, the pornography, the workaholism, that constant, gnawing need for more of something that never quite satisfies. We often call these things addictions, while major diagnostic manuals like the DSM-5 only formally recognize gambling disorder as a behavioral addiction for now. It's clear these compulsive behaviors can function in similar ways. The renowned physician expert Dr. Gaber Mate has a perspective that cuts through the noise. He suggests we're asking the wrong question. We shouldn't ask, why the addiction? We should ask, why the pain? Because as he argues, many addictions originate in an attempt to escape pain or emotional loss. The substance or behavior isn't the problem. It's a temporarily flawed solution. It's a desperate attempt to soothe a deeper ache. That ache has been given a name by psychiatrist and Holocaust survivor Viktor Frankl: the existential vacuum. It's the feeling that your life lacks meaning, a spiritual and psychological void. Think about the classic story of addiction research: a rat alone in a cage with two water bottles, one with water, one with drugged water, will often choose the drug. That's the story we've all heard, but we were only hearing half of it. In the 1970s, a researcher named Bruce Alexander saw the flaw in this experiment. The rat is alone. It has nothing else to do. So he built Rat Park. It was a paradise for rats, with friends, tunnels, toys, and good food. And in that park, the rats with the same two water bottles overwhelmingly preferred the plain water. When they had connection and purpose, the allure of the drug nearly vanished. It suggests weren't addicted to the chemical, they were just trying to escape the misery of their cage. This has led to many a powerful new idea. Perhaps the opposite of addiction isn't just sobriety. Perhaps it's connection. And that idea, that right there is the turning point. This is where we can stop seeing ourselves as broken people who need to be fixed and start seeing ourselves as explorers who have lost their map. Your addiction isn't a character flaw. It's a faulty GPS, constantly recalculating because you haven't entered a destination. The repetitive, compulsive behavior is the system's desperate attempt to go somewhere, anywhere, because standing still in that emptiness is just too painful. Ironically, when a person's life revolves around their addiction, they find a powerful, destructive sense of purpose. Life becomes simple. Every action is motivated by a clear goal. Get the drug, do the behavior. And when you take that away, what's left? A void. This is one reason why recovery can be so challenging without a new, constructive purpose. You have to replace the destructive purpose with the life giving one. So, the invitation here isn't to stop fighting, stop white knuckling your way through each day. Instead, get curious. The feeling of being lost isn't a sign that you're a failure. It's a signal that your old map, the one given to you by your parents, your teachers, or even your younger self, no longer works. It's an invitation to draw a new one. But before you can draw a new map, you have to know who the traveler is. We often think of purpose as this grand external thing we have to find, like some hidden treasure. That puts way too much pressure on us and leads to paralysis. The truth is, purpose isn't found, but it's built. It's built brick by brick through small, intentional actions that align with who you really are. This starts with a kind of identity audit. Feeling lost is often a symptom of conflict between the person you were and the person you are becoming. Your identity isn't set in stone, it evolves. The friction you feel is the old self shedding and the new self struggling to break through. So, grab a piece of paper. You have to get this out of your head and onto the page. Ask yourself these two questions. First, what activities, people, or thoughts consistently drain my energy? Be brutally honest. Is it a job, a relationship, that self critical voice in your head? List them out. These are the parts of your old map that are leading you into swamps. Second, what activities, people, or ideas make you feel even a tiny bit more alive? What did you love to do as a kid before the world told you what you should do? What topics do you find yourself reading about late at night? When you have When have you felt genuinely fulfilled and what were you doing? Don't judge the answers and don't worry if this seems silly or unproductive. If it gives you a spark of energy, write it down. These are your breadcrumbs. These are the first landmarks of your new map. The point of this isn't to find one single definitive life purpose. It's to reconnect with your own internal compass. For so long, the addiction has been screaming directions at you. Now it's time to create some space to listen to the quieter voice underneath. And once you start to get a faint signal from your internal compass, you build its strength through action, not massive life altering action. That's way too intimidating. The antidote to feeling lost is small, consistent, meaningful movement. And here's your plan. Step one, lower the pressure with the 20-minute rule. Forget asking, what should I do with my life? It's a terrible, overwhelming question. Instead, ask, what is one useful thing, value aligned step I can take this week that takes less than 20 minutes? Look at your alive list. If you wrote nature, your step is a 20-minute walk in the park. If you wrote learning, spend 20 minutes watching a documentary on a topic that fascinates you. The goal isn't to achieve something big. It's to build a data set of what feels meaningful and to prove to yourself you can take action. Step two, the life goals audit. Write down where you thought you'd be by now, the career, the relationship, the income. Now, look at that list and ask, Whose plan was this? Was it really yours, or was it your parents' or society's? If that plan no longer aligns with the person you are today, it's time to give it a respectful funeral. Write a goodbye letter to that outdated goal. Thank it for the lessons. Acknowledge what it cost you, and formally let it go. This creates a space for a new vision to emerge. Step 3, reconnect with the physical world. When we're lost, we live in our heads, trapped in a loop of rumination and anxiety. You have to break this loop by reconnecting with your body and your environment. Go to a coffee shop and just notice the sounds and the smells. Go to a park and focus on the feeling of the sun on your skin. At the end of the day, write down 3 things you physically experienced that felt meaningful. This shifts your focus from the internal chaos to external observation, grounding you in the present moment. Step 4, let go of the timeline. Comparison is the thief of joy, and social media is its primary accomplice. You are not behind. You are exactly where you are. And that is the only starting point that you have. Unfollow accounts that make you feel less than. Remind yourself that slow progress is still progress. Your timeline is your own. The only person you are in a race against is the person you were yesterday. As you begin to take these small steps, something quiet and profound happens. The loud, demanding voice of the addiction begins to fade. Not because you're using willpower to silence it, but because you're finally giving attention to the deeper need it was amplifying. The need for connection, meaning, and purpose. Life doesn't suddenly become free of struggle, but the struggle itself transforms. It's no longer the pointless, exhausting struggle against a part of yourself. It becomes a meaningful struggle for something, for a life that feels authentic. The void you were trying to fill with substances or behaviors begins to fill with new interests, new connections, and a growing sense of self-respect. You realize you were never broken. You were a traveler in a cage who has finally realized the door was open all along. You just needed a reason to walk out. And you are not addicted. You are not lost. But being lost is not a permanent state. It's a temporary phase of growth. It's an invitation to become the cartographer of your own life. A powerful path to recovery isn't just about achieving sobriety. It's about discovering purpose. The journey isn't a fight against yourself. It's a journey back to yourself. So, let's take the first step together. It doesn't have to be big. In fact, it shouldn't be. Look at the list you made. Look at your breadcrumbs. In the comments below, share one small 20-minute step you will take this week to reconnect with something that makes you feel alive. By writing it down, you make a commitment to yourself. And by sharing it, you remind others that they are not on this journey alone.